Now you want to see something happen. Now you want to see something happen. They were all here. The film, the cameras, the journalists, the news. Britain, USA, Johannesburg, Amsterdam. They were all here. 6 men. 6 fucking men had raped a 9-month-old baby. Do you see? Do you see how messed up you are? Do you see how messed up we all are? But somehow, business was going as normal. Sarah's mother, by the Shipin, has started selling Boerewors rolls and made a mint. Old man Leroux, by the petrol station. Business was booming like a cracker. People were dancing, smiling at the cameras. We had finally made it. The town of shame. Town of shame. Protests for Baby Tshepang. Now, suddenly the townspeople were motivated. Let's protest. Let's castrate them. Others said, we must start a march. Others said, Anbal, Anbal, Anbal. That's when they changed her name. The townspeople had heard from the nurses that it was a miracle that she had survived. That maybe it was somewhat of a sign maybe from God, that Tshepang was the savior, the girl Christ, that all the children in the world would feel no more pain, that she had taken away all the sins of the world, just like Jesus. Tshepang. Tshepang. Hope. Savior. I waited for the girl Christ to come back home. And I wondered if he had heard. I wondered if Alfred had remembered. I wondered if he had heard. After the 6 had been arrested, they found out that none of them were to blame. None of them did it. They had run some tests and found that the sperm found in Baby Tshepang did not belong to any of them. So, just like that, they were let out of prison. A few days later, Ruth went over to the police station. She told them who did it, who the real rapist was. She had told them that it was Alfred. She told them that the real rapist was Alfred fucking Soros, her boyfriend. The one that she stayed with. The one that bought her food and clothes. The one that gave her money to drink. She was too quiet to say anything because she was his afro. That's when people started asking questions. Why did she keep quiet for so long? Why didn't she say anything? Huh? That bitch! That whore! Alfred wanted sex. Ruth wanted to go out drinking. She left Baby Tshepang on the bed next to him. And then it got dark. Alfred wanted sex. You know, when Alfred was sentenced, when he was found guilty, they say that he didn't flinch. It didn't really matter to him. I guess nothing ever really matters. Nothing at all. Sometime later, I decided that it is best that I go visit Ruth. I figured that she might need the company. After all, the townspeople were gossiping about her. When I got there, to her house, the forum, I knew that something was wrong. The door was wide open. There was a terrible, terrible silence and a terrible, terrible stink. Ruth was lying there on the single bed, the one with the pink bedspread. The one that Tshepang had been raped on. Next to the bed was an empty star pincher tin. The lid was 3/4 open, and the sharp round edges was filled with a reddish brown gooey stuff. It was Ruth's blood. Her chest was filled with the same reddish brown gooey stuff. Her hands and her face. She had cut out one of her breasts and tried to do the same with the other. So as I stood there, looking at her mangled body, whilst the sun was shining through the window. I loved her then, more than ever. So I picked her up and I took her up High Street to the clinic. The nurses were certain that she wouldn't make it, but they called the ambulance anyway and they took her to Cape Town. A few days later, I took a lift with one of the police who were going to Cape Town for the soccer match. When I arrived at the hospital, the nurses told me that she was recovering quickly. But she still hadn't said a word. I walked into the ward where she was sleeping and there were other women in other beds, but I did not see them. I went straight to her. I called her. I said, Ruth. She slowly opened her eyes. She looked at me. She said, Tshepang. Tshepang. She asked. That was the last time she ever spoke. For 3 years, she hasn't said a word. Afana balapha banendwala zeyaku. Ayiborotkauze kaloku. Kudala ndihamba awonyisa imanga. Afana balapha banendwala zeyaku. Sondela, smonindwala zeyaku. Sondela, smonindwala zeyaku. Yeah, Ruth. What the hell? Words are useless, ne? Hey! Hey! Habu, give a guy a chance. Come on, wait for me. When you only want me when I have health. I swear. So, after Tshepang, the media was in competition. 5-month-old baby, raped, sodomized. 9-month-old baby, raped and left for dead. Mother sells sex with a 3-year-old baby for food and shelter. 20,000 child rapes in South Africa a year. And still, silence. Ruth, I'm going to the tavern real quick. I'll be back, ne? Ruth? Do you want anything? Can I make you the bed so you can rest? Let me make you the bed. Okay, then. Let me not go. Let me stay with you. You know, to be honest with you, I didn't really want to go to the tavern.
Tshepang,